Thanks for tuning in to the Women's Vibrancy Code, a podcast dedicated to helping women move from exhausted to energized, balance their hormones, and feeling turned on by their life, their lover, and themselves. I'm your host, Maraya Brown. I'm a Yale and functional medicine trained women's health expert, midwife, mom, keynote speaker, and self-made entrepreneur. I'm the founder of my signature program, the Women's Vibrancy Code. So sit back, relax, and let's chat about your energy, hormones, libido, and embracing your feminine power. Oh, and you might want to have pen and paper to take some notes on some of these episodes. I had this amazing, when you have those conversations where you can drop in with someone and the conversation is long enough where it is circular and there's this thought form and that form, and then it all comes full circle and it's like, oh yeah. So there's this guy, his name's Dr. Alok. He's known as Dr. Rewire. So he rewires people's brains pretty much. And he was the sponsor of the event in New York City. And he and I really leaned into each other's energy. He actually said, Maraya, you and I are going to co-create something. Like, oh yeah, let's go. But okay, so here's where the conversation went. And I think it's valuable to bring it up. So there's an author called Joseph Chilton Pearce. Joseph Chilton Pearce has studied heart resonance, and he's done a lot of work in the realm of pregnancy, childbirth, and bonding with our babies. So what we know, and science has proven this, is your heart resonance goes a minimum of 3 feet out from your body. So however you are existing within your heart energy goes out that far. It really goes further, but that's like the first point. And so how we bond with our babies and how we bond with them, even when they're in the womb, is research has proven that it is directly linked to our emotional state, our stress reduction, and our heart. Okay. The other thing that he said, which is crazy, is you can take a heart cell in a petri dish. If left alone, it will stop beating. If instead you have 2 heart cells side by side, they will polarize and continue beating. So it's like this idea of we're not meant to be alone, right? So then I was thinking, okay, of all the births that I've attended, and some of the deaths that I've attended, to be in the space when someone is crossing over, either coming in or heading out, there's something that's potent, and it's directly linked to the people in the space. So what I watch happen is when the quote unquote wrong person is in the room, the labor will be stalled, or someone won't allow themselves to release and cross over. If the quote unquote right person is in the space, it totally changes the energy. So there's something about the vibration and the energetics of the people in the space that impact the potency of crossing in and crossing out. Okay. Then what we realized as he and I were talking, we're like and then we're like, oh my gosh, and DNA. And when you're changing something, it's changing past, present, and future. And Danielle, I told him about rest. And then he goes, right, but every moment of our day, our cells are dying or regenerating, something called apoptosis. It's cell death. Right now, we have cells that are dying and we have cells that are being birthed. Bone cells, heart cells, blood cells, brain cells, skin cells, all of it. So we are in constant birth and death. And so if at the beginning and the end of our human existence, if it can be impacted so much by the people and the vibration that we're surrounding ourselves with, what about every moment of our day? Every moment of our day. In the world of boundary setting, to be protective of who we're spending our time with, who we're allowing in our space. Because their vibration, once again, is either speeding up or stalling, limiting or enhancing the body's experience of regeneration.
Mm.
And so when you're talking about really quieting in and saying, who do I need to be? What is it that I really want to be manifesting? I also encourage each of us to also spend time thinking about who do I want to spend that time with? And who makes me feel depleted? And who makes me feel absolutely fucking alive? And that will speed up the regeneration. I believe it will speed up the anti-aging. And then I think it actually changes past, present, and future. So once again, it's all really important. Who we allow in and the boundaries that we set. So now we go back to self-care. If we're not allowing those 60-second moments to go into our breath, to make sure that we're brushing our teeth and taking a shower and just allowing the pause, and instead we're coming from a totally depleted place, we can probably all relate to the idea of birth and death. I watch hundreds of births. The way a woman labors is totally different if she's going into the labor exhausted and depleted versus rejuvenated, trusting, self-care, robust skin because she's been caring for herself from a nutritional standpoint. We all can give ourselves permission to filter some people out. Even block them on Facebook, unfriend them.
Yeah.
Like, is this person serving me? Or like right now, my husband and I are in that time of, we're just kind of churning, and I'm watching myself just go, I'm going to set some boundaries right now. Because it doesn't feel like our energetic exchange is serving me or serving you. That doesn't mean I want to leave or move away or get a divorce, but it does mean I'm going to set some boundaries.
Right.
Because I need my energy to be like on fire.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. And there's seasons. So sometimes it's a person that we go, you know what, right now, this feels depleting for me. So I'm just going to take a gentle pause. Or right now, I don't have the energy to care for you because right now I barely have the energy to care for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. Knowing that that too is going to end. And then you'll get into a different chapter where all of a sudden you have this new rejuvenation and more resiliency and a better ability to put your energetic bubble up so that when you're around them, they don't penetrate you in the same way. To allow space for therapeutic. And for those of us that are building businesses, yes, we go to the business building things that always include some personal development. And we also plan in the things that have nothing to do with business building.
Right.
And it's purely just, this is me filling up my own cup right now. And we get to be in that place of self-reflection and go, what part of that rings true for me? And can I make some change? And so if one of these patterns are showing up, can we nip it in the butt? Acknowledge it, love it up, give that inner child a hug. She's not doing anything wrong. It's just simply how she was raised. And we get to give her some love and we get to choose a new way. Ciao, ciao.